doctor noticed something emerging from the baby's head during this couple's scan. When they looked more closely, they saw what it was right away. Shouting, they informed the parents. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. It was love at first sight when Dustin and Sierra first met. Additionally, they were more bonded to each other because they both had a fondness for children. These two will stop at nothing to ensure the happiness of every child and never wish harm upon any of them. However, this pair would soon find themselves in a difficult situation and have to make a choice that neither of them wanted to make. Beau was born to this couple not long after they were married. Sierra became pregnant once more a few years later, but this time they quickly regretted each and every breath they had taken. Dustin didn't mind having another male child, but Sierra was hoping for a girl this time around because they already had a male child. But something considerably more sinister was going to haunt their imaginations over the next few days. Whether it was a girl or a male, they would both have an intense desire for something that is nearly impossible to have. Before long, Dustin and Sierra went to the hospital to find out the gender of their child. They had entered the hospital with joy, but now they were going to be reduced to tears. As soon as they entered the ultrasound room, Dustin and Sierra sat down and embraced. It was a lovely moment that will give way to extreme agony and anxiety in the next few seconds. "It's a boy," the ultrasonographer announced, glancing up at the pair after analyzing the image. Dustin let out a happy scream at that same moment, and Sierra forgot all about her desire for a baby girl. She started picturing the unborn kid as his elder brother right away. However, all these lovely thoughts were for naught as the following event occurred shortly. The technician muttered, "Oh my God, what on earth is this?" as Dustin and Sierra continued to revel in the moment's bliss. They quickly realized there was a problem. The pair was then led to the office of a neurosurgeon by the technician. They then went over the results for the unborn child, while Dustin and Sierra awaited word on their destiny. After the doctor had been gone for about 30 minutes, Dustin and Sierra got up trembling. It was time to make a decision. They both hoped in private that what they were about to hear wouldn't be important. Regretfully, it was. The neurosurgeon asked them to sit and then explained that their kid had encephalocal, a neural tube defect where the brain and membranes protruded from perforations in the skull like a sac. Subsequently, the physician informed the couple that their chances of survival were poor and that the situation was fairly terrible. Their eyes filled with tears the moment they heard this. Then Dustin questioned, "Would the boy make it?" Very slowly. Time itself stopped when the doctor answered. He informed the parents that even if the boy survived, he wouldn't fit in with society. The doctor replied, "It would be best if you terminated the pregnancy," to a fidgety couple. They were now stuck in a difficult situation. Is it time for them to give up on this unsighted child? Considering that he will only experience agony and suffering, was it appropriate to bring him into the world? The couple thought about it for a time while crying, and then decided to end the pregnancy. They had no idea that they had just committed the worst error of their lives. Sierra was agitated the night before the abortion was supposed to take place. Inside her, she could feel the kid kicking. Was she really about to do something that she would later regret? With sorrowful eyes, she entered Dustin's room, took his hands, and whispered, "Dustin, I can feel our baby. His wish is to be with us. He desires to meet with us. Come, let's defend him." Dustin drew her into his arms and hugged her so intensely that she lost consciousness before she could finish speaking. "You expressed what I thought." Dustin said, "I could never have forgiven myself." As it turned out, they had both discreetly decided against getting an abortion. Even though they knew the child wouldn't survive, they made the decision to keep him that night. Was this, however, the correct choice? They started preparing to say goodbye to the boy for the remainder of the pregnancy. When Sierra's water broke a few months later, Dustin took her to the hospital right away. He contacted other family members, and they all hurried to the medical facility to be with the youngster as his life was about to end. Everywhere in the waiting area was alive with feelings, not sadness, but happiness. Despite the pain in our hearts, we had all decided to maintain a grin. "We made a self-promise to smile," Sierra said. "I knew my husband's son and other family members were grinning outside the operating room as the doctors instructed me to push. They gave me more strength, and I successfully and joyfully shoved him out." Bentley yonder was born soon after. After hastily wrapping him, the nurses handed him over to his parents so they could bid him farewell. Subsequently, they invited every relative inside. 3-year-old Beau ran in and gave his brother's hair a gentle pat. "I'll teach you how to play a ton of video games. When we get home, I'm going to give you all of my toys," he said. Everyone nearly started crying when they heard the poor boy's statements. This youngster seemed so full of optimism, and he didn't seem to realize that his sibling may die at any time. There was anguish and terror throughout the entire room, yet there was something even more amazing. Bentley was not weak. On the contrary, he was a lively boy who wailed like any other infant in good health. It felt like agony at that time. How come he wasn't having trouble breathing? Why did his eyes not close? Shall we set higher expectations? And the next minute, what if we did and he passed away? "It was pure agony," Dustin remarked. But Bentley kept demonstrating that he was here to stay with every second that went by. But how long will this last? Notwithstanding all of this, the youngster was given final words by each family member in turn. Still, to everyone's amazement, days stretched into weeks as hours passed, yet Bentley remained alive. At this time, the physicians gave us permission to take him home and put him under hospice care because they thought a miracle may occur. I was terrified, even though for the first time in my life, I could see hope in Dustin's eyes when we came home. Was this the best course of action? Neither Dustin nor Sierra slept well every night. They were afraid that one morning they would discover the boy was gone. But Bentley was adamant on finishing the race, so he kept fighting. This champion was still alive and well after several months. At that moment, his parents determined to resist and mustered all of their last power. They were bold enough to hope. They would do everything it took to assist the boy. They would no longer just sit around and let nature take its course. Thus, Dustin and Sierra did a great deal of research on medical facilities that may assist their son. Following an exhausting and protracted search, they arrived to Boston's Children's Hospital. Here they were informed that the boy's brain, which was protruding outside of his skull, could be fitted back inside. Was it now time to chuckle and shout, "Victory at last"? Not quite, though. Bentley was taken into the operating room on the day of the procedure, which soon arrived. Sierra and Dustin waited outside to hear the surgeon's verdict. It was a chilly occasion. They sat motionless, looking into nothingness as their hearts silently prayed to one another without exchanging a word. The kid might survive, the doctors had informed them, but there was a 50-50th chance. This youngster showed himself to be a fighter again in the operation room, even though his parents were unaware of it at the time. The top surgeon came out and told the couple that the procedure went well 5 hours later. Bentley's parents visited him when he eventually opened his eyes later that evening. They were so appreciative of the young guy that they continued to observe him. He had such a serene and lovely appearance. He had so much vitality in his eyes. Dustin remarked, "We knew he had a lot to give the world." Bentley was released from the hospital a few weeks after the procedure, and the boy's remarkable recovery continued. Although Bentley's parents think he can persevere through any health issues, doctors think he may face some in the future. We don't fear what is ahead. Bentley is prepared to demonstrate to the world that she is a warrior. However, we will always rush to him in times of need. Even at 7 years old, Bentley still surprises his parents with his cunning and will to survive. He is a content youngster who beams at everyone. I'm just happy that his parents gave him an opportunity at life. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.